We've all been in situations in life where we are at a crossroads and we have to make a difficult decision between option A and option B. And we're not sure which one to do. And we sit with it and we wrestle and we weigh the pros and cons and we consider one option, we consider the other. We play it out in our mind and see how it would go. We feel it out. And these times are tough. So I wanted to make this video in case any of you are going through this right now. I think that deep within us, we all know what the correct answer is, but sometimes we need a little bit of guidance to get more in touch with our heart and more in touch with the authentic part of ourselves that knows what the right thing to do is. So I'm here to just kind of give you some ideas to help guide your process so that you can find the answer that's right for you. I have dealt with this a lot. I'm kind of going through this kind of situation right now with something, and it's the kind of thing that as soon as you wake up, it's on your mind, and you just, it pops up throughout the day and you mull it over, and it's difficult. Oftentimes when we make big decisions or we're faced with two choices, we have insufficient information and we have to do the best with what data we have. And there's oftentimes this wrestling between maybe one path is something familiar and known. It's what you've done before. It's what you've done in the past. And then there's maybe something else that is riskier. It's not as defined. You don't know if it'll work. It may seem very irresponsible when you look at it, like to go that direction would be just not wise. And yet that path may feel like a more authentic and real choice for you. The thing is that whichever option we go with, we don't know what's on the other side. We may only have a certain amount of data, a certain amount of what is known, and then there's a lot of unknown. And we have to do our best with the information that we have and the feelings that we have about it. Here's an example from my past. In 2008, I left a stable full-time job with benefits to start my own business at that time as a personal trainer. And so I was in a company where I was doing really well. I knew my job inside and out. The company was pleased with my work. I got paid well, benefits, all the stuff. But I was bored and I wasn't able to move up, and I wasn't able to even move laterally, even though I had tried. I had a very manipulative boss who wanted me where I was because I made him look good. And once I'd applied for other positions, he would strategically find a way to prevent me from moving forward. And so at some point I was like, okay, do I stay with this job that is secure and stable and I have all my bases covered and I have a foundation, but I'm bored and I'm not enjoying going to work and I'm putting 40 hours a week into this thing that is just becoming a real drag? Or do I take the leap of faith and jump off the cliff and become self-employed and run my own business, and not knowing if I'll make enough money, not knowing if it'll work, not knowing a lot of things about being self-employed, which at that time I did not know. And so eventually I got to the point where the scales tipped and I took that jump and I went right into self-employment. And I learned a lot and it was really hard, but I have zero regrets. I made another big decision when moving out to where I live now, about a year and a half ago. I took some enormous financial risks that are way out of character for me, that when I made them and I thought them through carefully, they were not impulsive. I really used a lot of discernment. I questioned myself a lot. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of introspection, and I made a lot of choices that I knew that seemed from the outside and felt to me were extremely irresponsible, and there were financial risks that were way beyond my comfort level of financial risk. And but I kept feeling like this is the right thing to do, even though from a logical standpoint, it looked crazy. It just, it just looked like, what are you doing? And I had this moment after making those choices where I totally broke down. And then after I kind of got back on my feet, I felt better. Looking back, I know now that was absolutely the right decision. I made the right decision. But from where I was at that time with the information that I had, oh my goodness, it was nuts. It was crazy. But I am so glad I did. And the one thing, if you're faced with a financial decision or a financial risk question, the one thing I want to remind you of is that sometimes we can think that, well, the money that I have, or the money I'm making, or the money I have in savings, that's all I'm ever going to have, so I don't want to touch it, I don't want to spend it, because I don't know when I'm going to get more or if I will get more. And I'm not saying to go out and be reckless or irresponsible. It's good to be careful. But I also want to say, don't put yourself in the position of thinking that this is all the money you're ever going to make and that's it, and it will never be replenished. We never know what opportunities are right around the corner. We never know when or how or from where money may come to us, and it may be a surprise. But again, that being said, we still want to be responsible and be wise with our choices and discerning. But it's good to not think of, well, this is the only money I'm ever going to get, and so I better hoard it and hold on to it, and I should never ever deviate from that. The answer may be yes, or the answer may be no, I don't know. But I just want to offer to you to make sure that you're not limiting yourself in some way, because sometimes we can do that. We can get on this course of what we think is how we should be, how we have always been, what feels comfortable and safe. And there may be times in life where life is asking us to open that up a bit, because maybe we need to expend some energy and allow some new energy to come in. We just don't know. So when you're looking at your situation, ask yourself, do I want to stay, if I choose one option, do I want to do that because it's safe, because it's familiar and comfortable? Do I want to do that because that's what I think I should do? That's the responsible thing. Maybe you're concerned about what others would think of you, or you're wanting to get others' approval. And you're like, no, I should do this because that's the right thing to do. Even though everything in you knows that wouldn't fit, knows it would not work. Is there another option that seems riskier, that seems maybe slightly irresponsible, but you know that would be something more authentic? Are you choosing something out of a sense of fear? Fear of trying something new and it may not work? Is there a sense of fear of being seen, fear of being vulnerable, fear of doing something new, fear of being more your authentic self? So all of these things can come up and play a part when we are weighing out two different options and we have to make a decision. My suggestion is to consider the option that makes you feel like you are moving forward, and to not go backwards, whatever that means for you. To do something that feels like you are moving forward instead of just staying in the comfortable and the familiar. And that means you may take some amount of risk, or go to this other option that feels less safe, and it may not be easy. It may be hard. It may be difficult. It may require you to learn some new things, some new skills. It may require you to come up a bit, but you can do that. If you are called to do that, it will be when you are ready, and when you are ready to take those next steps in life. So those are just some thoughts. I hope that helps, and I get it. I know how these times can be tough. We all go through times in life where we're just faced with something and it's tough, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to be in this situation, but we are. So listen to your heart, listen to yourself, find some stillness and some quiet, and get in touch with what your heart says, and know that that's guiding you. So thank you for watching, listening, and I hope that this helps. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.